Hi everyone, it's MVP here, Neil here. I hope you're well. It's been quite a while since I produced a video. Usual story, very busy. Just wrapping up a consultancy contract I had, which I've had actually for the last couple of years. Finally put that one to bed. I don't think I'll be back into that contract in 2018. So getting a chance really to just take a bit of a Christmas break. I also took some holiday. And in the background, what I'm doing is actually looking at some kind of ebook or training that I want to run in 2018. Here we are at my FXCORRELATOR.com site, where there's lots of information here, my CV, free links and systems. Contact me so you can actually subscribe to this blog. Plenty of blogs, and I try and update something at least once a day. And if I just click on the training there, just really following up what I'm talking about at the moment. The training that I've been promising for so long, possibly one, possibly two ebooks. I'm not sure if I'm going to split it into two yet, but mainly to do with strength meters, but I'm also going to expand it a bit and talk about generic trading, not just strength meter trading, but some of the other things I get up to. I'm not just trading strength meters, guys. I know it must sound like it, and obviously I've hung a lot of the information I teach off of strength meters because that's where my expertise is. But I work with a lot of other traders. I do a lot of the trading systems, not even, outside of Forex as well. I trade some of the indices, some of the other things. So this is going to be primarily focused around strength meters though, because I think that's where most people, I think, could benefit, obviously just in the Forex market anyway. As it says there, if you go to my training page, it will give you an update what I'm doing and how I'm hoping to get probably back end of Q1 next year some kind of training out there. So that's where I am at the moment. This video though, I had a very interesting question fired to me by someone that I used to work with, and I get asked this question a lot, and it's all around sterling. Obviously sterling has had a very, very turbulent couple of years. For something that begins with B, called Brexit, and just people asking me a lot of the time, when will sterling get stronger, when will it get stronger? And I just want to try and answer that question now, if that's okay, by using one of my strength meters. So this is a strength meter. This is pound against sterling, pound against dollar. Last couple of years, this starts around end of December 2015, so it's showing pretty much the last 2 years activity. What I've got down here is a strength meter, but this strength meter is quite smart. What it does is it doesn't move on a moving average, which is where I think over 3,500 people have downloaded my FXCORRELATOR now, my MA based one. This one though is fixed. Sorry guys, it's not out there for free because I developed it with some other programmers. But what it does is you can set a fixed point and then it will show the currencies movement. You see all the currencies here moving around. These are the different currencies here. And it takes it from a fixed point. So if you want to work out how much a currency has increased or reduced in strength against other currencies over a certain period, you can fix it. So this is the last 2 years basically. And what I wanted to highlight was the red line here, which is sterling. And how things went through 2016 and then in more recent months. So if we start back in 2016, actually sterling didn't have that great an early part of 2016. The first 6 months weren't that great, to be honest. As you can see here, sterling came off against most currencies, and you can see up here against the dollar, it was about 150 start of the year. Came down, it was dropping down to the 139s, 138s around end of Q1 I think, and then it did start to fight back. Now fascinating to see what was going on. What was happening here was as sterling was coming off, then of course we got into that infamous period leading up to the Brexit decision, and what was generally going on, and I remember this period myself trading, there was more and more, shall we say, thinking that we were going to stay. Everything was going to be fine. We were going to stay in the family, the Euro family, And therefore people started to get a little bit more confident about sterling. As you can see here, sterling started to fight back. Okay, now I'm not saying it made back in relative terms against everything, but by this stage the yen and the CAD here were going great guns, and you probably didn't notice it so much there, but it certainly came back against things like the green dollar and some of the other Europeans. Okay, so we came back against the dollar and the Eurozone. And as you can see up here, we did come back to the dollar, and in fact, as we led up to that epic 23rd, 24th of June meeting and decision referendum, you can see that for a brief moment in time, we actually got back up and clipped the 150. As you can see here, we virtually kissed the dollar again. Now, if you look at this white dotted line running across here, which represents the start of the prices as at the 1st of Jan 2016, it wasn't as if we were doing well against everything. All it was that dollar wasn't doing too well because it was below the line, and neither was sterling. So really it was the best of two bad currencies fighting one another. But I suppose against the dollar things weren't looking too bad. We were also we were already by that stage depreciated heavily against other currencies, especially the yen, but that was where we were. Then came the eventful night, which I remember because I traded for about 18 hours through the night. And actually I did very well, but unfortunately it was obviously selling sterling. And as you can see there, the red line falls through the floor, absolutely through the floor. There was about a 20% initial devaluation. Well, actually no, there was more like about a 10% devaluation that first night, and then over the next probably the next few months, there was actually increasing devaluation. As you can see, sterling around October time, October into early November, sterling was at a low. Okay, but since then, and I think this is where I wanted to bring the message back, since then things have been going a little better anyway. Against the other 7 global currencies, you can see that sterling has started to come up. In fact, it's been fighting back earlier this year around end of April. It was doing very well, and now you can see that it's back up on this kind of red horizontal line. And the interesting thing here is this red horizontal line, what does it represent? Well, actually, roughly it represents what happened in that first couple of days. Do you remember the initial drop, the initial 10 to 15% drop against most other currencies? But as you can see, it's taken us 18 months and we're finally back. We got back earlier in the year, had a bit of a misfortune here, and this was to do really with what was going on with Brexit and some of the ridiculous farce that was going on with negotiations. But we've come back, and obviously based around some of the more recent news where we finally seem to have agreed the divorce check, well, allegedly the divorce check, and we're moving on to the other things, we're back. And in fact, what I'm showing you on the right here now is the same chart, but this is actually starting in January. Okay, so January this year. You can see that if we look here from 2017 start, you can see that actually we've had quite a good year, haven't we? Look at sterling. Sterling's actually having a good year. It's number 2 in the rankings. It's behind the euro, which is unfortunate for all of us that go on holiday like me to Spain, but that's life. So, you know, we haven't seen any significant appreciations this year in our value against the euro, so euro sterling, but on everything else, actually this year sterling's done all right. So there's a little bit of good news. I mean, clearly, if we come back to this chart, we can see that if you look at a 2-year period, it's been a disaster. We're still way back off the game, but that was because of 2016. 2017 hasn't been too bad. So in answer to the question, will sterling get stronger? My answer is, well, it already has. I mean, it's already made significant fightbacks in 2017 already. And unless some cataclysmic decision, global decision, or decision based on the UK, or something went disastrously wrong with one of the other currencies or the global currencies or something, clearly this is going to be a long, hard haul. And as you can see, we still have a hell of a gap to make up before we even get to something like the dollar, which is the one which we've probably fared the best against over this period, because the dollar's been relatively weak as well, especially in 2017. But to get up here and try and catch up and get back to the point we were 2 years ago, and the likes of the Eurozone and even the CAD and the yen, it's going to be a long, hard slog. And will we make it? Well, I'll tell you what I see. I see here this red horizontal line, and as I say, I kind of recorded that around what happened in June when we had the collapse. And what do I think? I think that we have hit it again. We've slightly breached it. And if you look at good old-fashioned price pattern, which you can apply to indices, these are indices, by the way, the individual currencies. I think that if we continue with the negotiations and they go well and we were on time and through 2018 nothing falls out the cart, then I think we should see a little bit of growth. I think that sterling may come back. But I'm very, very eager to watch this line in 2018 to see whether we can stay above it. If we start to fall below, clearly that is very bad news. But time will tell. And as I teach people, when I'm mentoring or when I'm talking to other traders, I'm not here to predict. I'm just giving you my advice. My job isn't to predict, my job is to trade. And when I trade, what do? I trade what I see. That's all we can do as traders. You make your choices, you apply your strategies, and you trade what you see. You make a trade, you win, you lose, you move on. I'm not here to give pundit predictions on what's going to happen. I'm just giving my view here. So yeah. So this is MVP signing off. I'd like to wish you and all your families a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year. And we will talk more over the next few months, and just watch this space as I hopefully will be bringing some kind of training and mentoring to the table in 2018. So with that, have a great evening and all the best. Cheers. Bye bye.